right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
The Dobbs decision, 1 year later.
We celebrate the fact that babies don't die here anymore.
The changes to abortion access in America since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and where the battle over reproductive rights is heading next. Nearly 1 week since a deadly mass shooting in downtown St. Louis. Now a new push to end gun violence against kids.
No one organization, no one person, no one group is going to be able to fix this problem. It really is going to have to be all hands on deck.
Good evening, I'm Mark Maxwell. Brent Solomon is off tonight. We are in storm alert right now. The summer heat we saw today is brewing potential storms overnight. Let's get right to a first look at the weather first forecast with meteorologist Gary Frank. Gary?
Yeah, good evening, Mark. And, we're just kind of keeping you posted before you go to sleep here. I know that right now it's been pretty quiet. We've been waiting for storms to develop off to our northwest, and now we have portions of our area that are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. So, of course, we'll stay here and keep you posted until then. But right now, we look at the airport. It's quiet in the immediate city. You have to look further north, and you might see some of these lightning flashes here in the distance. And what I want to point out are a couple of different things here. One, we obviously have a couple of active severe thunderstorm warnings here as we zoom in just a little bit. The most recent one, as I zoom in just a little bit, the most recent one is really for some smaller hail. Upwards, it has been higher, but this really has to do with the fact that we have some wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour that have been reported or observed by radar for Calhoun County and Pike County, not only Illinois, but also Missouri side. So what we'll continue to see, this is until 11:30. As I mentioned, the area as a whole is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m., and that's what we'll continue to monitor. This does not include the city here right now, but temperatures even at 10:43 are still at 90 degrees. We have more humidity. We have a south-southwest breeze. I do think that over the next few hours through 2 a.m., we are going to stay in storm alert for this severe thunderstorm watch is in place for our northern areas. We have wind. We have locally heavy rain possible are our main threats. Now, there are going to be some areas that don't get any rain at all. This is very sporadic, and we'll talk about why that is and also update you on the rest of the severe threat here coming up shortly.
Gary, thanks. A reminder, you can get the weather first forecast sent to your phone anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355. Tonight, St. Louis groups are uniting together to solve youth violence across the city. This coming almost a week after a mass shooting downtown killed one teenager and injured nearly a dozen more. 5 on Your Side's Mercedes McKay joins us live downtown with new details on this community push. Mercedes?
Mark, youth ambassadors have been around St. Louis for a couple of years now. You'll see them walking around downtown on weekend nights. Well, tonight they were joined by some more volunteers and even added activities. It's all an effort to provide kids and teens with safe spaces and a positive environment.
I think what happened last week can really send off a loud alarm for a lot of people in our city and our region.
While the physical stains from the mass shooting over Father's Day weekend in downtown St. Louis are gone, the search for solutions is far from over.
No one organization, no one person, no one group is going to be able to fix this problem. It really is going to have to be all hands on deck.
Saturday night, volunteers in orange vests walked through the heart of the city. Their purpose? Going farther than just safety.
We've told our ambassadors and also the other volunteers to document what they're being told and then ask the young people what they would like to see in this region, and not just downtown, but in our region.
Former Missouri State Highway Patrol Captain Ron Johnson says this is just one step to solving the problem.
We can't let politics and personal issues stop this and impede us. And so this shows if we work together what we can do.
Working together is exactly what the Downtown Community Improvement District, youth ambassadors, and other organizations did Saturday, setting up food trucks and games along Chestnut Street thanks to funding from the mayor's office.
I believe that what a child will see, they will be, right? So it's important that they have positive people down here, people that are going to be, for their best interest, people that have services for them, people that care about them.
While they hope this will provide safe spaces, activities, and resources to the kids, they also know this isn't a one-size-fits-all situation.
It's going to be a number of people coming together. We're looking for organizations to come together. And for people, I do believe in the village concept, right? It does take a village to be able to pour into each and every one of these kids.
They will be doing this every Saturday through the rest of the summer from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Now, if you have any ideas at home or even have an organization that wants to volunteer, we have all that contact information on our website, ksdk.com, under the As Seen on TV section. Live in downtown St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
Mercedes, thanks. Tonight, St. Louis police are working to identify the teens in this picture. They're wanted for questioning after last weekend's shooting. If you know who they are, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, we have an update to a homicide investigation in North St. Louis. Police say 21-year-old Levi Henning died Thursday morning on Bartmer Avenue. 5 on Your Side has learned that morning he was supposed to attend a court hearing to have robbery charges against him dismissed. When he didn't show up, his attorney called his parents and then learned that Henning had been shot and killed. Earlier this year, Henning also had murder charges against him dropped. Right now, there are no suspects in this case. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers, again at 866-371-TIPS. It's a celebration of pride this weekend across downtown St. Louis. More than 8 blocks full of food, shopping, concerts, and more for the annual Pride Fest, which brings thousands of people downtown. Several watering stations are available to keep hydrated and deal with all this weekend's heat. Pride organizers also say they're coordinating with local and federal law enforcement to provide a safe festival environment.
We just want people to come and remember that this is a safe space, not only for diversity and inclusion, for a safe space to come for, time to get away from what's happening, all the hateful rhetoric in the outside world.
Pride Fest continues tomorrow from 11 o'clock in the morning to 6 at night, and Idina Menzel will perform on the main stage tomorrow night. Also tomorrow, the Grand Pride Parade will make its way down Market Street. That starts at noon. If you can't make it in person, we'll stream the parade live on the 5+ app. That's free to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which struck down the constitutional right to an abortion. Since that ruling, 14 states, including Missouri, have banned or severely restricted abortion. 9 other states have set some restrictions with some exceptions. Opponents and supporters of abortion rights both rallying across the country this weekend. Vice President Kamala Harris stopping in Charlotte, North Carolina to mark the anniversary.
The women of our nation have suffered under the consequences of these laws. Laws that in design and effect have created chaos, confusion, and fear.
Republican presidential candidate Mike Pence joined opponents of abortion to celebrate the court's decision at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C.
We've not come to the end of this cause. We've come to the end of the beginning. And the work for life goes on.
President Biden signed an executive order yesterday to strengthen access to contraception and called on Congress to codify Roe v. Wade into federal law. Tonight, dozens of local military families are better equipped to handle food insecurity. Grunt Style Foundation hosted a special food deployment this afternoon at Eckert's Farm in Belleville. Organizers say 1 out of every 3 lower enlisted military families often deal with financial shortcomings. More than 500 families in the area received a month's worth of food and household goods today.
We would like to eliminate the need for those families to spend that $500 or $600, whatever it costs, for them to purchase this, so they can then take that money and push it towards a bill that maybe they couldn't pay last month, or a family-focused event that they typically can't afford to do.
The Grunt Style Foundation hosts several of these special deployments every year across the country.
It's Fiesta weekend in Florissant. We'll take you to the annual event that spotlights a growing population group in the region. Could you lose your Social Security benefits due to bankruptcy? We verify claims that the program is running out of money.
Florissant is celebrating its growing Hispanic culture this weekend. Fiesta in Florissant, featuring authentic foods from different countries, Hispanic arts and crafts, and live Latino music. North St. Louis County has seen a rise in the Hispanic population over the years. Organizers say the festival is for everyone, no matter where they are from.
It's for both, of course, our Hispanic community, and to come here and be together and celebrate, but it's also for the non-Hispanic community. Come experience our culture in a weekend.
Money raised during the festival helps fund scholarships to college-bound students and underprivileged children. The Fiesta resumes tomorrow at 11 in the morning, lasts until 9 at night at the corner of Lindbergh and Washington. The city of Wellston drew a packed crowd earlier today for the annual Black Wall Street 314 Festival. Black-owned businesses and musicians lined the historic Wellston Loop. The area was once a bustling economic passageway during the 1950s and 60s. but declined with the rise of urban renewal and white flight in the 1970s. Organizers hope to restore the historical corridor.
We're still in storm alert as we have portions of our area under a severe thunderstorm watch and severe thunderstorm warning. What is specific about this storm that makes it severe and what we can expect the rest of the night?
Heavy wind damage is a given in a storm of this size. It's good to see you.
So much work to be done here still.
2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or get $2,750 total cash allowance, plus get $1,500 trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
I think this is it, guys.
When the Martins booked their Verbo vacation home, they really weren't looking for much. A patch of grass for Bruno, a pool for first-timers,
Don't worry, I've got you.
and time with each other. And when they needed support, someone was right there.
I got you.
Because what's unique about a Verbo is you can reach a real person in about a minute.
Hi, my name is Dan Packard. I was on my way to work, and the gentleman behind me hit me. We called Morgan & Morgan. From that moment on, everything else Morgan & Morgan took care of. They emailed us all the time. They constantly stayed in touch with us.
We have been really blessed to have them in our corner. And it really did feel like family.
Morgan & Morgan did it all with literally one phone call.
Van City RV is having its 53rd summer anniversary super sale. If you're looking for the highest quality in-stock RVs, now is the time. We've got the best selection and the best prices in years with factory reps on site. Scan the QR codes for the best deals. You don't want to miss out on summer travel this year, so don't miss this event. It's Van City RV's 53rd summer anniversary super sale. 3100 Telegraph or visit vancityrv.com.
It is time to show your pride and celebrate St. Louis. Join us at the Edward Jones Grand Pride Parade, Sunday, June 25th at noon in downtown St. Louis. Can't make it? Watch the parade live or watch it later on the 5+ streaming app. Happy Pride, St. Louis.
Developing tonight, Russian mercenaries who were marching on Moscow have turned back around. The leader of the private Wagner group says they are returning to field camps in Ukraine to avoid shedding Russian blood. As a part of a deal to defuse a crisis that posed a challenge to Vladimir Putin's government, the leader of that group will now move to Belarus next door and not face criminal prosecution. And tonight, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are looking into the fatal voyage of the Titan submersible. They will try and determine if criminal, federal, or provincial laws were broken. Canada's Transportation Safety Board is also investigating the cargo ship that accompanied that sub. The Titan imploded near the site of the Titanic shipwreck, killing all 5 people on board. And could Social Security soon go bankrupt? It's a question many of you have asked us, so we had Casey Decker with our Verify National team look at the program's budget for answers.
Millions of retired Americans rely on Social Security checks to pay their bills. But several Verify viewers asked us if the program could soon run out of money. So let's verify. Will Social Security go bankrupt? Our sources are the Social Security Administration, AARP, the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the Congressional Research Service, and Joseph Cordes, a professor of economics and public policy at the George Washington University. Here's how Social Security's budget works. Revenue is collected from payroll taxes. Funds are distributed in the form of monthly checks to all the eligible recipients. If more money is coming in than going out, the excess gets put into a special trust fund. For decades, that was the case, as there were more workers paying taxes than recipients collecting checks. But in recent years, there have been more and more retirees, and those retirees are living longer, meaning Social Security is paying out more than it's taking in from payroll taxes. So how does SSA make up the difference? That trust fund. But of course, you can only do that for so long before the trust fund is depleted. Experts estimate that at the current rate, the trust fund could be out of money in about 10 years. So what happens then? Is the whole system bankrupt? No, because you still have payroll taxes coming in from everyone currently in the workforce. Experts say those taxes could cover 77% of the benefits any given year. So we can verify, no, Social Security won't go bankrupt, but the checks could get smaller. That reduction in benefits would make a huge difference for millions of Americans, and that's why advocacy groups are pushing Congress to find another funding source to close the gap. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
What would you like us to verify? Send us an email at verify@ksdk.com. Attention, if you like to plan ahead, stargazers are already preparing for next year's total solar eclipse. The moon is set to cast a shadow across North America on April 8, 2024. Fans of the celestial event have started booking hotels within the path of totality. Portions of southern Illinois and southeastern Missouri are in the direct path of the eclipse. That includes Farmington, Cape Girardeau, and Carbondale. And he's got his eyes on the skies. Meteorologist Gary Frank joining us now with the Weather First forecast. Been a hot weekend and maybe some live weather ahead, Gary.
Yeah, and we're going to be, a little bit busy for part of our area here over the next several hours. And what we're going to look at here is not much going on right now at the airport. You probably see flashes of lightning in the distance, and that's especially to the north. And what we're going to continue to see is we got to 97 today, our hottest so far this year, 96 Chesterfield, and it's this heat with the added humidity and our storm that's starting to work its way in. And we started to see this number really come up, and it's gotten more muggy over the last couple of hours. So overnight, the storms will continue. That's the main thing for us. Some larger hail right now, but the wind threat, I think, is maybe our main thing with some locally heavy rain, but it's very sporadic. I think there are going to be some areas that miss out on the rain completely. That has been the story that has been very, very consistent. We have a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. That's not for everybody, and I don't think that's going to be extended either, but specifically in the areas that are more impacted by one little set of storms, which have started to change a little bit. This is where all the lightning that I mentioned you see, anywhere from Bowling Green all the way up to really Pike County on both sides of the state. And you know what? For the most part, what we've started to see as this continues to move from west to east is that there has been a little bit of rotation. You can start to see some hail north of Bellevue as well, but this is really the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have at the moment. And what we'll continue to look at is as this moves off to the west, will we have more that develop? And you'll see this one closer to Vandalia. There is still a sign that I think that we're going to start to fill this in a little bit. Like I said, not everybody gets in on this rain, but you're starting to get a couple of rumbles of thunder, and that's something that we haven't had of recent. So we'll continue to sit here. I don't think everyone's getting severe weather, but I also think that we'll start to see a little bit more rain here in the near future. And as that spreads through by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it's done. As I mentioned, it moves south, a less than favorable environment, so you're not going to see your weather radios go off in the middle of the night or your phone buzz. But like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of people that miss out. There's going to be a lot of people that get a quick burst of very heavy rain that gets over an inch. This is not a drought buster, but storms are around tonight, strong storms with temperatures in the low 70s. We'll continue to look at tomorrow, dry conditions. That's going to be a main story for us. It's drier, it's still warm, and I do think as a result, being in the mid-90s, it's still an alert day, but it's not quite as humid. This west wind is really driving in low humidity, so you're going to feel a lot different tomorrow, even though it's 94. It's more of like a desert 94 with things. But temperatures will continue to warm up in the 90s here for tomorrow. Other than that, we're going to continue to stay dry until the end of next week as we're hot and humid by, as we get closer to Thursday and Friday.
All right, Gary, thanks. Use that term drought buster. Maybe Corey Miller can tell us if the Cardinals found one of those.
The Cardinals didn't, but it looks like City SC might. They need a win out in California. The Cardinals, well, they played a dud in London, and the Blues could be wheeling and dealing. We've got a loaded sportscast coming up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
There hasn't been much losing for City SC 4 months into their first season, but now they've gone winless 4 games in a row and need a big performance tonight out in San Jose. Welcome back, Sam Adeniran. Let's pick up the highlights. He's coming back off loan, and he's going to come up huge. A header off a corner to break the ice. That's his first MLS goal, and it is an absolute beauty. Remember that name. He's going to get a chance on a PK later as well. And he's going to bury that one too. Adeniran's first MLS start, and he has 2 goals. Right now, City leads in San Jose 2-1. Country, same old Cardinals. It was a disappointing one today against the Cubs in London. Waino got the start. He gave up 7 runs in 3 innings, including 2 bombs to Ian Happ. Only 2 good moments to show you. Jordan Walker extended his hitting streak to 14 games, and Paul Goldschmidt drove in a run in the 5th country he's played an MLB game in. Cards lose 9-1. They're back at it tomorrow at 9 a.m. Matthew Liberatore is on the mound for a scratch Jack Flaherty.
Definitely hate it. This is a guy that competes extremely well, loves the big moment, wanted the baseball here. I thought it was a great opportunity for him. Unfortunately, no other way to categorize it other than he had a bad day. Winning tomorrow is extremely important. We wanted to take both of these. Drop the first one. We got to move on to tomorrow.
With under a week until he shows up at the NHL draft with 3 first-round picks, Doug Armstrong may be getting a head start. The wheeling and dealing general manager for the Blues could be close to a blockbuster. Before the big trade talk broke, the Blues made another move today. They signed Scott Perunovich to a 1-year, one-way extension for $775,000. The defenseman was injured all of last season, but is expected to play a key role on this team's blue line. Home opener for the St. Louis Surge today against the Kansas City Crossover. That's a cool name. At Fontbonne University. Nice fast break in passing leads to a finish from Jade Loville for 2. Later on, it's Abby Hoff. She's going to connect for 3 from beyond the arc. Surge dominating their home opener. They win 96-55. LSU baseball is feeling it. They hit a walk-off bomb to advance to the College World Series championship round against Florida on Thursday. And tonight against the Gators, in Game 1 of the finals, they had more dramatics. Cade Beloso breaks an 11th inning tie with a bomb of his own. LSU wins 4-3. They could win the whole thing tomorrow. I know we were sitting around watching a lot of USFL football, but that means we got to see 2 city goals, and everybody else got to see them if they didn't have MLS season pass. So yeah, silver linings from that great USFL game that I can't wait for more of.
Here's where I was the whole time.
On the edge of your seat. Yeah. I don't know if
it was thrilling.
Did you see the witty, clever headline writers at the Chicago Sun-Times who wrote London flog?
It's pretty good.
Flogging.
They might have to come up with another one tomorrow if the Cardinals keep looking like this.
Yeah, it's been rough. They need a few silver linings of their own, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to sleep anytime soon, or at least I'm not.
You're wired.
You guys, yeah, tired, wired. We're all good. We're dialed. What we're going to continue to monitor is the threat for severe weather. We have the severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. It's really north of the Missouri River, for the most part north of I-70. And I don't think that areas in the city are going to see severe weather, but you'll probably see storms like this. There is that storm near Bowling Green right now. I think that's going to expand a little bit more and as it moves south, and we'll keep with you overnight.
All right, that does it for us. For 5 on your side at 10, have a good night and a great Sunday.